I'm Dr. Bree, Doctor of Physical Therapy and founder of FemFusion Fitness. As you know, we've been talking lately about constipation and constipation relief. And I have my friend Tara here, who is a yoga instructor in my area. She's amazing. She's also experienced with Chinese medicine. And today she's going to show us a massage technique that I'm going to let her tell you more about. But it's a wonderful technique to help with constipation relief.
Yes.
Okay? So I am actually going to kind of hand it over to Tara. She's going to give you the instructions and she's going to demonstrate on me. And my hope is that you will try this tonight on yourself or tomorrow morning. And also want to let you know that I have a brief kind of shortened version of this in my Smooth Move system, which I'm going to go ahead and link that in the video notes so you can look at that if you're interested in a shortened version as well. So let's go ahead and Tara, take over. Actually, I'd like to know briefly how you got into Chinese medicine and also how this massage can help with constipation.
Sure. So I was trained as a high school biology teacher and was doing that, and in the process of teaching, I met a friend of a friend who was in shiatsu school. Shiatsu is a Chinese and Japanese form of massage that works acupressure points that are run along meridians, and meridians are part of the Chinese medical system.
And meridians are flows of energy in the
channels
body?
of energy, channels of qi. Some people may have heard about that term. Qi is basically your life force.
And is it the same as prana?
It's the same as prana.
Prana and qi.
Yeah, same.
Mm-hmm.
And so the process of working these points helps that prana or qi move smoothly. And when it's moving smoothly, you're feeling well physically, mentally, and emotionally. And so that's part, constipation is obviously something not flowing smoothly.
Absolutely.
So these techniques are using acupressure points on the abdomen and around the navel to encourage qi to flow as it's meant to flow.
Perfect.
Both in a Chinese medicine perspective, but also in the Western medical perspective, it's stimulating peristalsis, and you maybe have spoken about that before.
Yeah. Peristalsis, as a reminder, it's the natural contractions of the gut that helps propel your feces along.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what this is all about.
Perfect. This is so actionable. I love this because it's something that we can all do. Is it best to do in the morning or the evening or both?
It depends on how constipated you are.
Okay.
If you have been constipated for a while, morning and evening would be good.
Yeah.
If you are kind of, it comes and goes, evening right before bed is the best.
Okay.
Because what is happening, there's also all kinds of parasympathetic nerves, right? Bodies that are in here. And so the abdominal work also is very relaxing. So it can help you sleep. And then all of that is working overnight, everything that you set in motion, because it is in the morning, again, in Chinese medicine, that you're supposed to evacuate your bowels, right?
Uh-huh.
So within the first hour of waking is a healthy time to be evacuating your bowels. So again, you do this at night, gets it set up. Potentially, if it's been really stuck, do it again in the morning before you get out of bed. Mm-hmm. And then hopefully within that hour, a little warm water and lemon. I don't know if you've already talked about that too, but lots of things cross over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it all weaves together. Okay, perfect. I love this. So I think that we're going to demonstrate this for you right now. So let's go ahead. What will someone need to do this?
So if you're in bed, you can just stay in bed. The most important part is to have your knees slightly elevated. So you can either bend your knees up, or what we'll do today is have you laying down with this cushion underneath your knees.
Okay, perfect.
And it's just so the abdomen isn't taut. When you're laying with your knees bent, it has a softness to us, which just helps.
Perfect. Okay, so let's do this.
There we go. So the first part is, so your abdomen is sensitive. It's probably not used to being massaged for most of us. So we want to sort of let the nervous system have a moment to get used to this idea. And so the first thing I do is something called cat pause. And it is We've all seen a cat need a pillow, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so you're just taking your hands, your fingers, you're not digging in with your fingertips, you're just a nice, broad fingers and hands like you're kneading a pillow, okay? And this just sort of gets the body open to the idea of being touched in a very sensitive place. And then if you are constipated, it's probably even more sensitive.
It feels really good though.
It does feel good, right? And so again, it's that parasympathetic nervous system that's getting stimulated here, which also is that rest and digest.
Yeah. And this is something, if someone was doing this to themselves, would they have to make their cat paws this way, or could they make them more down?
Yeah, you could use, if you were doing it, go ahead and try just cross.
Oh, like this,
Yeah.
almost like this.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, I'll give you back. I like you doing it.
No,
that
it's
feels
good.
nice.
It's good. Yeah, it is. Yeah, the difference in the first time trying it and who's worked on 100 bellies,
Yeah.
right? Hundreds of bellies. So then this first part is a more of a macrocosm idea of your whole digestive system. We're going to start up right underneath the solar plexus, right? And we're going to do 3 scoops. Now you'll notice I'm pressing down, but I'm scooping around, and that we don't want to just press, right? We're trying to stretch the fascia that's around the organs to stimulate this peristaltic movement.
Ooh, you can actually feel that sort of open up the channels.
Yes.
Yes, you can feel that. That's
Yeah,
neat.
it doesn't take long.
Yeah, so a scoop.
A scoop, right? And then we're going to do singles, scoop, scoop. For right now, we're going to skip over the actual navel and just go right above and below, scoop, scoop, and we're going to go all the way down to the pubic bone.
And you should empty your bladder before doing this,
Yes.
because it does give you a little bladder sensation.
Little sensation there. So then we're going to follow digestion. It's come down, and it travels up the right side of your body, across and down the left, and we'll meet back at this spot. So again, a scooping action towards now the belly button. Single scoops, just little changes in location, not big movements. Now I've hit the edge of her ribs, and when I get to the center of the ribs, I'm going to do 3 in a row. This is the right rib cage where the gallbladder and liver are. Big pieces of the digestion puzzle.
Whew. And in Chinese medicine, the liver, is it that it holds on to anger, or am I getting this wrong?
That's right.
Okay.
The emotions associated here are kindness and anger and frustration.
Okay.
So they're both,
Interesting.
right? Both
Yeah.
sides of a same coin.
Interesting.
Yeah. So back through that center where we started and over to the left rib cage. And when I get over to the left rib cage, same 3 scoops in a row. This is the spleen and stomach and the pancreas.
And what are these associated with emotionally?
Worry.
Ah, no wonder it's a little bit sensitive.
It's a little
for
tight
me.
over here.
I am very sensitive right there. That's fascinating.
Yeah, more kind of worry and anxiety.
Okay.
And then when it's in a healthy state, it's able to just really hold presence, right? Be present.
Wow.
Right? So when you're worried or anxiety, you're either in the past or in the future. Right? So spleen and stomach. And then we're going to move to the edge, down to the bottom edge of that rib cage, and finish all through the end of the large intestine, all the way down to the bottom. And we end with 3. Okay, let me just do that one more time. Pick up, start back at the top, at the solar plexus, 3 scoops, and I can hear some little sounds. We're getting some movement. Singles. Straight down, skip over the belly button, all the way down to the pubic bone. You go to your right in to the inside of the pelvis there. This is the ascending colon. to the edge of the rib cage, and when I get to the middle, 3 in a row at the liver and gallbladder.
Wow.
Up.
She's really stirring things up.
Things are moving. Back up through the center and over to the center of the left rib cage, spleen, stomach, pancreas.
My tender spot.
Tender bits, but it's already looser. Can you feel that?
It
Yeah.
is.
And down to her end of her ribs and into the bowl of the pelvis. And you can feel it's a little stuck right there. And 3 at the bottom. So my recommendation is that you do that big from the center down, up and around as many times as you feel you need to feel change.
Okay.
So we already felt change in 2.
For sure.
You would definitely feel change by 5, right? So then what you do, so that's the large intestine, and then we're going to stimulate the small intestine by just doing those same little scoops around the navel, just about a half an inch to an inch around, and you do as many turns around the navel as you did around the large area of the large intestine.
Can't tell you how good this feels. It really does.
I know. Very often, when I was first studying this, I had to get my regular shiatsu clients, I'd offer them 5 free sessions so I could get my hours in. And some of them were just like, yeah, no, I don't have people touch my abdomen. Like, it just doesn't happen. And I said, you're really who I want to work on. You know? And so I, was able to get a couple of those people to get on board. And once you're over kind of that first little bit of awkwardness with touching your own abdomen or having someone else touch your abdomen, again, some of the sensations you're feeling of kind of calm and a little bit of relaxation and just that feeling of movement where there hasn't maybe been some movement, people were starting to come to me just for an hour of abdominal work.
Oh, wow.
And not even the shiatsu.
Wow.
So,
yeah.
This in Chinese medicine is called the hara. It's your center, right? And we think of it that way too. But if you can clear and open movement in your center, that movement and openness spreads out to the periphery, right? So even if you've got stuff with headaches or things going on in a shoulder, even working on your abdomen and clearing that will start, the body can then process things from other areas.
That's so true. I mean, we've talked about this a lot on my YouTube channel, is how we're all connected by that myofascial, the fascial connections between the entire body, heel to head.
Yes.
And so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Besides the energy blockages and unblockages with this. Okay, good.
So we've been talking really physically about peristalsis, and now we're going to move just a little bit in a different direction, because in Chinese medicine, we don't separate physical, emotional stuff. It's all one. And so while you're, and we already referenced that with the liver and the spleen being associated with frustration and kindness or worry and anxiety, as well as the physical functions that they perform. So this next little piece is a little bit more geared towards emotional digestion. So in traditional Chinese medicine, we consider that the abdomen is also an area where emotional events have been stored that have not been fully processed or digested, right? So this is also an opportunity to open that channels for that sort of digestion as well. And that also may be contributing to why you're having the physical constipation, is that there may be some emotional constipation happening.
Again, that anxiety, the worry, or even for a lot of women that come to my YouTube channel, would it make sense that they have issues stored here because they have pelvic floor issues, problems associated with pregnancy or postpartum or pelvic pain, all that? Would that hold right there?
It would definitely hold.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's all kind of creates a little web. And so we're trying to address all aspects of what might be happening here. So the next part here is from something called Chi Ne Sang, Chinese abdominal massage. And it is applied Qigong. And we're going to start, you're imagining a compass that's on top of your navel. And we're going to start in the east, okay? And so we're going to you just take your middle finger and you just gently make a little spiral, and then you're going to breathe a nice big breath in, spiraling up, catch that breath basically, and as you exhale, you're going to follow it in only as deeply as your body really wants, right? And then continue to breathe. Little spiral, and follow the breath in. Let's do one more breath there. Great. And then we're going to move to south. Again, I make a little connection. Begin with the breath. The breath rises up. I spiral a little bit, kind of catching that space between her breath and my pressure, and then I just follow it in only as far as her body wants me to go. Right? This is all about a collaborative effort versus trying to make something happen. And her body seems to be liking that too. Little gurgles and movement. Good. So let's move over to west.
This is really effective. I mean, you can just feel it.
So about 3 breaths at each spot. But if for some reason you get to a spot that feels particularly stuck, you could do more. If you press down into a spot that feels, we're going to go to north now, relatively open, you could do it once.
And if people feel their heartbeat, that's not something to worry about.
No, that's not something to worry about. You've got the abdominal aorta that's moving right alongside the navel here in the abdomen. And a lot of people, you can feel it when you gently press down into it. You can feel that. So now we're going to do the in-between here, right? So this is northeast. And this one feels pretty open, so I'm just going to do 2 there, and I'm going to go...
It did feel open. I can feel that too.
Yeah, and you'll notice, it's really interesting. You think, well, it's just my navel. How can it, but each spot really has a different characteristic.
Would people look for sensation and also tissue feelings? I mean, I can feel it, yeah.
Yeah. And the more you do it, like, the first time maybe you just decide, I'm going to do 3 breaths at each spot. Like you're just trying to get used to what it's like to be doing this. And then the more you do it, the more you're going to start noticing the subtle differences in each spot. And the more you'll be able to understand for yourself, I only need to do this once here, or I may need to be here for 6 breaths. Like, I don't know if you can feel it. This one's just a little more closed.
Yeah, it's a little bit tender, slightly, and it just feels like there's a lump there.
Yeah.
Not a lump, but just...
a little bit of I call it a roadblock.
Yeah, you can feel
it feels like there's a little bit of a roadblock. So we may be here just a couple more breaths.
And it feels like it's loosening up a little.
Yep, no, it is. In fact, I bet after this one, I can feel it at the top too.
Yeah.
Yep, that's great. Good. So last one. The northwest position.
So people should allow some time for this.
A little bit of time. And last breath, we'll follow it in. Good. And then just maybe taking 1 or 2 nice deep breaths. And there you go.
Great. Wonderful. After they take the time for this, they can just go about their day. What would you recommend is a good next step after this? Maybe, again, the water, or maybe breakfast, or...
Yes, so let's say you were doing it at night. A lot of times when people do those points, they end up falling asleep, right? So fine, you didn't get all the way around your compass dial, no big deal.
Yeah.
You fell asleep. Like the work was started and the work will be finished, right? Then do it in the morning, and then yes, I would follow with the warm water and lemon, and then your breakfast, because that is part of it. That idea of a healthy flow is something comes in, something moves out.
Yeah, for sure. And you're getting that peristalsis going with the massage, and then it'll be working nicely so that it can move things along when you put something in. And again, I do have my Smooth Move smoothies, which are amazing.
That would be the perfect thing to have.
to finish this off with. So please do check the video notes if you're interested in that Smooth Move system. And again, it does show a very brief, kind of short version, just this end version, and then the quick massage around of what we just did. But if you have time for the complete full meal deal here, I highly recommend it. It's very relaxing, and thank you so much.
So welcome.